Yeah, man. So my name is Mickey Moreno. I'm from the south side of Fort Worth, Texas. I remember being in Little League. One of my best friends, Roland, who's still a best friend today, his older brother that passed away, rest in peace. I remember he would pull up in a Regal on 13s, and he was in a local car club. And I just thought that was one of the coolest things, man. But in Southside Fort Worth, it's real normal to see lowriders growing up. So I wanted one real early on, man. This to my right-hand side is a 1962 Impala, completely done, hydraulics, everything. And this is an almost stock 1979 Monte Carlo Lando with the 305 V8, 21,000 original miles. I started in lowrider cars, model cars, building hydraulics and setting those things up. And that was around 9 or 10. And I still remember my mom driving me around. This is before Google. This is before getting on the internet. Like, you couldn't find things. So I'd open up the yellow pages, you remember those? And I'd look through and look up hobby shops. And I'd call each hobby shop to see if they had lowrider model hydraulics. And I'd find a hobby shop. We were in Southside Fort Worth. We'd find one in Arlington. And during dead summer heat in Texas, man, no AC in an old school Impala station wagon, my mom would take me to go buy these things for lowrider cars. And we transitioned into lowrider bicycles. That was a natural transition for us as we got into our teens. And then before you knew it, man, this was one of my all-time someday goals, is to get a show quality lowrider that I could call mine, and here it is. I bought this lowrider 10 years ago, almost to the date, but then I took it to a legend in the game, Aurelio Garcia. And Aurelio is from Southside Fort Worth. He's been building cars there forever, man, as long as I could know. So I got linked up with him. Now he's one of my very good friends, and we've built this car 3 other times, but this was my very first one, man. That's why I highly doubt I'll let it go. It's been loyal to me, I've been loyal to her, and you know, we're gonna ride it out until the wheels fall off. It's gone through some transitions, man. It's gone through El Cardenal, so the Cardinal, and 2 references. As you know, the Cardinal, the bird, but why it's named that is because Catholic cardinals have a red cap on them. So it's the holy one out there. But yeah, I got a name for him. Don't have a name for the 79 yet, but we need to build it and then it'll come. The biggest difference for me was finding the community. You know, I'm born and bred in Southside Fort Worth, so I lived less than a mile away from a street called Hemp Hill. When you get on Hemp Hill, you see some form of culture, right? You see 13-inch wheels, the taco shop, see people cruising, you're gonna catch a mural. All this was less than a mile from my house, less than a minute, right? So when I came to Florida, got on Instagram, you know, hashtag Florida lowriders and before you know it, I start finding people. And I had a little incident when my brakes went out, so we had to fix the front fender, and then we did the hydraulic setup. You know, 2 pumps, 6 batteries, hard lines, everything color matched, added some audio, and we finally got to a point where the trunk was done. Well, let's do the engine. Well, if we're gonna do the engine, let's do the bottom of the car. We color match the car, all chrome rear end, all chrome undies. It's got a 350 small block that comes out of a square body 83 Chevy. Added a nice chrome pulley system, but yeah, man, the engine, I think, is the biggest add in the underneath, right? I mean, this is kind of easy to take stuff that everyone can see, but the details when it comes to the bottom of the car and the engine compartment kind of takes it to the next level, I think. You can see the interior. Here's the first place plaque it took at the Lowrider Tampa Super Show. Just this year, first place, 61 through 64 hardtop street custom. I'm a big believer in goals. I write down my goals. So 10 years ago when I got the car, the very first someday goal was to be a show quality lowrider. So when you actually do it, you know, I've been chasing it down, then it became a 3-year goal. Before you knew it, it became a year goal. And when it finally got hit, I didn't know I was gonna be so happy, because trials and tribulations, man. I mean, this thing has not been perfect in its entirety of me lowriding this thing, right? I mean, it's gotten setbacks, transmission problems, rear end problems. I mean, it's a fucking beatdown at some points where you want to quit and you want to sell it and you're like, somebody just fucking buy this thing. But you stick in there, you keep at it, and this is what you end up with. And it's really hard to part with because you know what it took to get to this point. You know, for a car to get to this point, unless you're a multi-millionaire, I mean, it's going to take some time, but it's time well invested. I don't get confused with priorities. My number one job is to be a dad first and foremost, and then a husband. But a real close part of that, I've just brought low riding and family and integrated it, right? That's what Lowrider's all about. So Sundays when I have a day off, we go to a car show, we go post up somewhere, we take our chairs, you know, we take the cooler, we take snacks, and we make a day out of it. I mean, that's part of the reason why my wife and I fell in love is, you know, she liked cruising with me. But who wouldn't like cruising in this? You know, it's kind of a deal, but I think that's how I got her. All it is, it's a canvas, man. That's my favorite part about it. It's just a rolling canvas. This is an art piece. It is transitioned from a car to an art piece, and it needs to be treated as such. It needs to be seen. And that's the whole idea behind lowriding, is getting on the street, mashing this thing. A lot of the time when I pull up, people can't believe that I actually drive this car. But, you know, I bought the car, I built the car to mash it. I mean, if it's not in the streets, in my garage, it does nothing. I don't feel anything, but the second I get in here, man, it makes me feel like a little kid again. I've been dreaming of this car for 30 years. So every time I drive it, that's what I feel. We gotta keep it alive. And then the more people that we see doing it, you know, like I found the community through Instagram, and that's how I know about the picnics. And you know, cruising is everything, man. You work hard to be able to cruise, in my opinion. That's what I do, man. This is my passion. There's no feeling like coming out in a car like this. The best way to describe driving this car around is it's like I just hit a home run, and I'm taking my run around the bases. It always feels like you just hit a home run. People come out, and everybody loves a lowrider, man. Old people, young people, no matter what color people. When you roll by in something that looks like this, people smile, they look at it, they point, they ask you to hop it. It just kind of brings people together. That's what I love about them. But cruising's important, man. It's a big part of low riding. I don't want to see your car on a trailer. I want to see you mashing that thing, right? Fast in it, hopping it, dancing a little bit, bumping your music, and using it, right? Using it as a tool for life. It's not just, it's a riding mural, man. It just makes life better. Cruising makes life better. Yeah, one of my goals is to get associated with a national, worldwide lowrider club, and then use that volume of people and that community to do a scholarship benefit car show. So that's what's been cooking in my head. Get associated with the club, have a lot of manpower there, a lot of presence, be able to put something together and build a scholarship fund with entry fees and whatnot, and hand that to somebody in the community, man. I'm extremely passionate about that. So a lot of me is about giving back. It's all about building a bridge for the next man, making it a little bit easier for somebody to succeed, maybe a little easier than the time that I had. You know, and I'm still chasing it, still chasing success. Whatever that means to you individually, I think it's a lifelong journey, you know what I mean? You never stop chasing the things you love. So we'll finish this one, we'll start the green one, and then we'll start another one before you know it, man. But I'll be riding until I'm gone.